1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up? Welcome to the Honological Society, the place where we talk about paranormal shit. I'm your ghost host, Eric, and with me is always...
Wendy!
What's up, Wendy? Here we are again in the Honological Society, talking about ghosts, paranormals, and all those good things inside. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Before we get started, I just want to let everybody know that everybody who's joined our Facebook page, I really appreciate it. We've got over 3,000 members now. And I went back and I had to revamp and start a Facebook group as a way that I could add admins and moderators so that I could control what's on the page and off the page. So go over there and join our group so that we can say hello and talk and share some paranormal stuff. You can share your stories over there. You can share pictures, and so come show us some good things. And say hello to Wendy because she's on there too. She's one of our admin moderators as well. So Wendy's always looking for the love from the fans.
Well, not necessarily looking for love. I'm not desperate.
I know. But no, yeah, go join us over there, and it'd be. I'm gonna try to turn it into our main place where we share everything, but I'll still be sharing on the page for now until we get everybody switched over. So anyway, I got a pretty good story today. We're gonna be talking to some ghosts. Last week, everybody chose to do the old the cryptid story, which I did for you, and hope everybody enjoyed. So this week we got some ghost stories. Coming up, we're getting into the spooky season. It's August already. So basically, it's almost October. So it's basically Halloween. I think TJ Maxx has already got their fall decor out. It's time to get the old jack-o'-lanterns out and get ready for spooky season. You ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm ready for Halloween too. Have you heard any of the news about the possible alien craft that's coming into our atmosphere?
No.
So there's a thing going around right now. A couple years ago, a scientist called Avi Loeb, he's one of the main proprietors of studying space and the cosmos, and he discovered this object called Oumuamua, which was probably I think they said it was the first known object to come from outside of our solar system into ours. And there was speculation that it could have actually been like an alien mothercraft or something. They didn't know. Well, apparently another one has popped up again, and people are talking about it. And so this is kind of making its way around the news again. And let's see, I'm trying to bring it up here. Oh, here it is. A rare interstellar object the size of Manhattan could be an alien probe, Harvard scientist says. A Manhattan-sized interstellar object zooming through our solar system has been identified as a comet, but two Harvard scientists argue there is reason to believe it's really an alien probe. NASA discovered 31 Atlas on July 1st, speeding through the inner solar system at 140,000 miles per hour. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb suggests in a new paper that the object, only the third interstellar object ever detected, could be intelligently directed alien craft observing Earth with possible hostile intentions. He says the hypothesis in question is that a technological artifact and furthermore has active intelligence. If this is the case, then two possibilities follow. First is that its intentions are entirely benign, and second, they are malign. Experts opine supposing ETs. The paper presents several anomalous characteristics of the object, which could indicate that it is not a comet at all, but instead a directed craft. One of the most puzzling observations is that the object has significant non-gravitational acceleration whilst having cometary outgassing. Loeb writes that 31 Atlas approaches surprisingly close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter with a probability of 0.005%, the paper claimed. Its low retrograde tilt would seemingly allow it to access our planet with relative impunity. I'll go ahead and stop there, but I think it's pretty interesting that Avi Loeb is once again looking at the skies to see if possibly another craft is coming into our solar system. He's one of the proprietors that he really believes that we could be visited by intelligent life soon. And I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, there was a comet or something that had broke up and went into the ocean. And he actually went to the bottom of the ocean and found these fragments and took them back to his lab to study them.
And
He determined like their makeup, what where he thought they came from. He says it. I believe he said that they could be fragments from the formation of our solar system or from another solar system, and that basically looking at the objects were like looking back in time because of their like physical makeup or whatever. Pretty cool though.
So what about this craft is leading people to believe that they have malicious intent?
Honestly, nothing. And that's a good point because there is no proof that it is malicious or even a craft. It's probably more like just a space rock. Because it doesn't seem to be under intelligent control, but it is coming our way. However, he did say he thinks that it's a possibility that it could be a probe. So I think I would believe that more than I would believe like a mothership coming into our system.
A probe being what? Like smaller satellites with
Well, you know,
cameras detect information. I mean, I don't get that. A probe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we send like satellites out into space that go out and take photos and send information back to Earth. So I guess it's kind of like us sending a space like a satellite out. We have a couple that actually have, or one that I know of that left our solar system. It's been going for a couple decades, and it was a big deal when it left. So it's our first object that went out. So they think that because we sent something out, I guess it's possible that something's coming in. So maybe it is just like a little probe or satellite coming around, or maybe it's just a rock.
Well, I mean, just like we tend to want to get out and look around, I imagine others want to do the same.
Yeah. I think a lot with like the same as with Oumuamua. Oumuamua just turned out to be like a meteor or asteroid or something like that. I think this is probably going to turn out to be the same thing. It just doesn't. I haven't seen enough proof that says it's definitely a space object coming our way. We got some couple emails coming in. I'm going to try to hold on to them. Hopefully, we'll have a couple to read at one time, so we can do like a little listener story. So please, if you have any of those stories, send them to us, thehauntologicalsociety@gmail.com, and we look forward to reading your emails, and we look forward to reading them on the podcast. Also, if you send us emails, please let us know if we can use your name on the podcast, because I reached back out to people, and for some reason I haven't got an answer back, so I don't know if I can use their name or not. But I'd like to be able to know if I could say your name. So just let us know. Anyway, so today's story is a ghost story, and it's a story that's kind of close to you and I, Wendy. Not specifically that we've been there, but we have been to Charleston, one of our favorite places.
Okay.
Beautiful city, one of the most haunted cities in America. Arguably could be the most haunted city in America. Went through the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, suffered through pirates. It's seen all the good and bad of the formation of the U.S. So it's no wonder that it's a haunted place. It's full of like history, and even some of the streets are made from cobblestone. And what I found out was cool was that on the cobblestone streets are actually from, ballast stones that come from the ships of pirates.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Excuse me there.
So, do you remember when we were walking in downtown Charleston, and it was a few years ago, and we went into the cemetery that was in downtown?
Yes.
That place was called the Church of the Circular Congregation. I didn't know it at the time, but the place was like supposed to be intensely haunted.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty cool that we were kind of like drawn to that place that we went to. And remember when we went to that I think it was like a museum, and they had like a bunch of like old Civil War artifacts, and I'd got some information about some of my family that fought in the Civil War.
Yeah.
That place is also haunted, and so it's like it doesn't matter where you go in downtown Charleston. It's very easy for you to find somewhere that's haunted just by merely walking in, and bam, you're there. So it's no surprise that so many places are haunted. But this place in particular is a kind of cool place. And when most people think of haunted locations in Charleston, what do you think of when I say haunted Charleston? What's the first place that comes to your mind?
The jail.
Yes, everybody thinks of the old city jail. But I decided that I'm kind of keeping that one in my pocket because it's such a big deal, and I would rather sort of share a little snippet of something else to get a better insight of what else is around besides the old city jail. Everybody's heard of the old city jail, which we will talk about on here at some point, but not just yet. I'm trying to give you the little side snippets.
Well, Charleston also has that really neat little oddities museum um, that had like the first or like the Exorcist kit, um,
Oh yeah, wait, where's
the
that?
Freddy Krueger.
That was in Wilmington, wasn't it?
I thought that no, it possibly could be, but I thought it was in
Maybe it
Charleston.
was in Charleston because I remember it was like right by the harbor. Remember?
Yes.
And we were down on the waterfront, and I remember like there was like one of the battleships were down there. Maybe it was in Charleston. I have to look into that. Charleston's not too far from Savannah either. And Savannah is also a insanely haunted town. So one day, very soon, just keep looking out. We're probably going to hit Savannah on some ghost stories here as well. Um, but I think that it's cool because Charleston has that sort of New Orleans vibe without being New Orleans, and the similarities between Charleston and New Orleans are pretty crazy. Um, they both have some cobblestone streets. They both have the French Quarter. They both are cities that have rich history with pirates. Um, lots of there's a lot of like some of the worst part of American history is also shared between Charleston and New Orleans. Um, but it also produced like some vibrant culture and brought some new influences into the area that are still seen today, like voodoo practices, hoodoo, um, you know,
Basket making.
yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and I think the stuff that actually was brought in, even though it was brought in horribly, uh, it contributes so much to what we have and what we love today. And I'm thankful that we've got it. And so anyway,
Charleston is the bougie New Orleans.
I love Charleston. My great aunt lived in Charleston back in the day, and her name was Charlotte. And I wish I could remember what town she or where she like lived exactly. But I think she lived in like one of the retirement communities. And I remember they had an alligator down there that was like kind of fenced in, and they would like
Real?
yeah, it was a real alligator. It
Okay.
it went into a pond, and they kind of like fenced it and sort of kept it as like the community alligator because it kept like I think it kept attacking dogs or something. So
Oh yeah.
instead of allowing it out, they just kind of were like, well, we'll just protect it and we'll feed it, and so they basically made it a pet, which is probably not the best thing in the world to do. But I remember we could go down there and feed it like marshmallows, and it would eat the marshmallows.
So that would have been more on the outskirts, not the inner cities where the little historical houses are like on top of each other.
No, she didn't live like in the city. She probably lived like on Goose Creek or what is it, Somerville or whatever. Is it Somerville?
I can't
I think it's
Yes.
Somerville.
Yes.
She lived in one of those communities, but she was still in Chucktown. But anyway, so the place that and the place that we're talking about today, this is a weird little bit of like connection to history as well. It has a connection to Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Lincoln was never there, but there is a weird, strange sort of like ipso facto connection to Lincoln. So the place that we're talking about, I've teased it enough, and if you clicked on the episode, you know what it is. But the place that I'm talking about today is called the Dock Street Theater. It's a playhouse, a stage where they put on plays, comedies, dramas, acting, Shakespeare, But it wasn't always a theater. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. You ever heard of it, Wendy?
I haven't. I have not. No.
Okay, good. I like it when you're kind of surprised. All right, here we go. Tucked within the storied heart of Charleston, South Carolina, the French Quarter is a cobblestone quilt of colonial charm. You like what I did there? Whispered legends and weather-worn elegance. The historic district with its pastel facades and flickering gas lamps feels like a living postcard sent straight from the 18th century. Once the stomping ground of French Huguenot merchants. God damn, I can't speak French.
Can't read your writing.
Oh, I can barely read how I scribbled on this iPad. The sea captains and scandalous whispers, the French Quarter has gracefully aged into a cultural jewel box, equal parts art gallery, architectural museum, and a ghost story waiting to be told. At the very soul of this quarter stands the Dock Street Theater, a grand dome of Southern drama with a history as layered as its velvet curtains. Hailed as America's first purpose-built playhouse, it has hosted centuries of applause, scandal, and spectral encores. From colonial comedy to Civil War to WPA-era revival, the Dock Street has never gone fully dark. Even if some of its most devoted patrons haven't taken a bow in over 100 years. So, Charleston's French Quarter is a charming and historically rich district located in the southeastern portion of the city's original walled boundaries. Though the term French Quarter wasn't officially used until the 70s, the area earned its name due to the high concentration of French Huguenot merchants and artisans who were there during the colonial period. These French Protestants fled religious persecution in Europe and brought with them craftsmanship, culture, and commercial ambition, helping to shape the district's identity in the 18th century. Before it became known as the French Quarter, the area was part of a bustling original settlement of Charlestown, established in 1680. The section of the city bordered by Broad Street to the south, Meeting Street to the west, East Bay to the east, and Cumberland to the north. It was originally home to the warehouses, markets, and shipping centers thanks to its economic hub filled with cobblestone streets, historic churches, and preserved colonial buildings. Notably, it houses landmarks such as St. Philip's Church, the French Huguenot Church, the only active Huguenot congregation in the U.S., and Dock Street Theater. Today, the French Quarter is celebrated for its blend of artistic flair and historic preservation, home to art galleries, cafes, and museums, all nestled within one of the most atmospheric and picturesque corners of Charleston. The Dock Street Theater, located in the heart of Charleston's historic French Quarter, is considered one of the most iconic and haunted buildings in the city. The site has a long and layered history that dates back to the early 18th century. The original Dock Street Theater was established in 1736 and holds the distinction of being the first building in the American colonies built specifically for theatrical performances. It stood on Dock Street, which is now Queen Street, and its grand opening featured the Recruiting Officer, a popular British comedy of the era. Unfortunately, this early version of the theater did not last long. The Great Fire of 1740 swept through Charleston and likely consumed the original structure, leaving behind little more than memories and ashes. In the decades that followed, the land would be repurposed, and by the early 1800s, the site was home to Planters Hotel, a luxurious destination for visiting elites, wealthy plantation owners, and out-of-town businessmen. The hotel was well known not only for its high society gatherings and ornate ironwork, but also for its less reputable attractions, including gambling, drinking, and prostitution, which were discreetly offered on the premises.
It was everywhere.
Yeah. Red light district.
Not just Charleston. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was everywhere.
It was that time period. The Planters Hotel, established in 1809 on the story grounds of Charleston's earlier Dock Street Theater, quickly rose to prominence as an elegant lodging for the city's visiting planters and social elite. Its stately design was enhanced in 1835 with the addition of striking wrought iron balconies and sandstone columns, elements that still evoke the charm of the antebellum Charleston. Not merely a place of rest, the hotel gained genuine cultural significance as the birthplace of the famed Planter's Punch cocktail, a testament to its influence on Southern leisure and hospitality. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what the fuck is the Planter's Punch cocktail? You ever heard that before?
No. I imagine it's a mixed drink.
Oh, yeah. Get your pens ready because I'm about to give you the recipe. Okay. The Planter's Punch is a classic rum-based cocktail with Caribbean origins, especially associated with Jamaica, and was popularized in the American South during the 19th century, notably at Charleston's Planter's Hotel. It's a fruity, tropical drink with a strong sweet and citrusy flavor profile. Classic Planter's Punch recipe includes 2 ounces of dark rum, Jamaican rum preferred, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, or sometimes grenadine, half an ounce of orange juice, half an ounce of pineapple juice, optional in some variations, a dash of angostura, God damn it, I know somebody's out there yelling at me, bitters, and a splash of soda water, Angostura, Angostura, I don't know. Shake all the ingredients, except the soda, with ice, strain into a tall glass of fresh ice, and garnish with an orange slice, cherry, or mint sprig. If desired, top with a splash of soda water for a lighter finish. What you think?
It sounds delicious, and it sounds like Bar Rescue.
Love John Tapper. Earliest known recipe appeared in print in the New York Times in 1908, but the drink likely goes back further, adapted by bartenders from rum-rich islands. The name Planter's Punch likely referred to the drink's popularity among plantation owners in the Caribbean and southern U.S. I guess it's kind of like the Charleston version of the mint julep.
I was kind of getting the idea of maybe like the rum runner.
Yeah, I can see that. A poetic version of this recipe once appeared like this: 1 sour, 2 sweet, 3 strong, 4 weak. That's WEAK, 4 weak. It's lime, sugar, rum, water, soda, respectively. It's still served in tiki bars and southern lounges today and remains a symbol of relaxed tropical indulgence. Beyond spirited libations, the Planters Hotel occupies a notable place in American history. Among its staff was Robert Smalls, an African-American Civil War hero famed for commandeering a Confederate steamboat and delivering it to Union forces. Before his courageous exploits, Smalls worked humbly as a waiter in the hotel's dining room. However, like many structures of its age, the hotel ultimately fell into disrepair, and in 1935, during the depths of the Great Depression, the building was saved from demolition through the Works Progress Administration, or WPA. Architects Douglas Ellington and the firm Simons and Lapham repurposed the hotel's shell in the Dock Street Theater, preserving features like the grand foyer and dining room, now the theater's box office lobby.
As the lobby?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I guess the dining room is now
Well,
the
that's a
lobby.
big disappointment.
What? That it went from a hotel to a theater?
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Well, no, that it went from a theater to a lobby.
No, it went from a lobby to a theater. It's now a theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said it turned into a dining room.
No, it said it went from features like the grand foyer and dining room are now the theater's box office lobby.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And integrating salvaged elements from historic Charleston homes, most notably the second floor woodwork and mantels of the Radcliffe King Mansion. In short, the Planters Hotel stands as a layered emblem of Charleston's evolving identity. From elegant antebellum social hub to faded relic, a revived culture treasure, bridging centuries of architectural, social, and historical threads in one iconic site. It was during the Planters Hotel era that one of the property's most enduring legends took root. A young woman named Nettie Dickerson, believed to be either a sex worker or a courtesan trying to escape poverty, met a tragic end on the hotel's balcony. Nettie Dickerson, often simply called Nettie or the Lady in Red, is the most renowned ghost said to haunt Charleston's historic Dock Street Theater, formerly the Planters Hotel. As lore recounts, Nettie arrived in Charleston from the country, and in the early 1840s seeking excitement and love. At 25, she was considered too old for marriage by high society standards and faced rigid class prejudices. Initially, she worked as a clerk at St. Philip's Episcopal Church, and her kind-hearted demeanor resonated with parish priests, but she didn't feel she belonged in Charleston's elite circles. She was a country girl. Growing disillusioned, Nettie spent her savings on a striking red dress from an upscale Charleston shop. She began frequenting Planters Hotel, leveraging her beauty and new attire to attract clientele. Despite her efforts, rejection and social scorn persisted. She continued attending church and once even confronted the wives of her patrons, who treated her with contempt. She was a bad bitch. In a moment that has become central to her legend, Nettie, distraught and penniless after losing customers, stepped onto the hotel's second-floor balcony during a fierce storm. Some accounts say she shouted, "You cannot save me," perhaps to the caring priest, just as lightning struck and killed her instantly. Nettie's physical demise in that dramatic storm mirrored her spiritual entrapment. Her ghost is said to wander the Dock Street Theater, forever clad in that vivid red dress. Numerous eyewitnesses, staff, and visitors alike have shared experiences of seeing her figure. Many describe a semi-transparent red-dressed woman gliding through the second-floor hallways and staircases. Some claim that they see her from the knees up and the lower half fading into the floor. This particular detail is rumored to stem from the fact that the hotel's flooring was raised by about a foot during its 1936 conversion into a theater. Yet Nettie's apparition seems oblivious to this change. That happens a lot. You'll see ghosts half in, half out of the wall, half into the floor, and it's because the people find out later on that the physical like alterations have happened to the property, but their memory, it doesn't change. They just keep walking as they do it.
Right.
Others recount a others recount a zombie-like appearance. Nettie's once elegant beauty now tinged with tragic otherworldly quality. According to ghost tour narratives, she remains the theater's most frequently spotted ghost. Nettie Dickerson's story blends tragedy, longing, and societal rejection. Her life, a country girl turned church clerk, then ostracized by Charleston society, ends in a dramatic and symbolic death of lightning. Her ghost, in turn, haunts the Dock Street Theater with vivid appearances, a fleeting red figure, truncated mid-step, a silent echo of the love and acceptance she never found. Her death, while not officially recorded in contemporary archives, has become deeply woven into building's folklore. The hotel thrived through the antebellum period, but by the late 19th century, Charleston's economy declined, and the hotel, like much of the city, fell into disrepair. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, the WPA launched the restoration project and transformed the derelict Planters Hotel into the modern incantation of the Dock Street Theater. Reopened in 1937, the theater was not a replica of the 1736 building, but rather a tribute to it. Constructed in Georgian colonial style that reflected Charleston's architectural past, the new venue became a beloved home for the performing arts and continues to host plays, concerts, and festivals to this day. Now, with its long, complicated history, the Dock Street Theater has become the focal point for paranormal activity in Charleston. It's widely considered one of the most haunted buildings in the city, while countless reports of strange occurrences dating back generations. The most famous ghost, of course, is Nettie. Numerous witnesses reported seeing her in her red dress from near the balcony, sometimes drifting through the upstairs hallway or appearing suddenly before vanishing in the thin air. Her presence is often accompanied by heavy, oppressive feeling or a noticeable drop in temperature. Some have claimed to hear the woman's voice singing softly or crying when the building is otherwise empty. Another commonly reported spirit, this is where we get to the Abraham Lincoln connection.
Okay.
Another commonly reported spirit is that of Junius Brutus Booth, the father of John Wilkes Booth, the famous 19th century Shakespearean actor. Though it's unclear whether he performed in Charleston, his ghost is said to wander backstage and through dressing rooms, muttering dramatic lines and occasionally startling performers preparing for their roles. Theatrical staff, actors, and guests have all reported odd sensations while working late at night, hearing footsteps on the stage when no one is there, catching glimpses of a shadow in the audience, or feeling as though they are being watched from the wings. Now, who is Junius Brutus Booth other than the father of John Wilkes Booth? He was a celebrated English-born American stage actor, remembered for his powerful Shakespearean portrayals and volatile temperament. Born in London on May 1st, 1796, he found fame across the U.S. playing roles like Richard III and bringing a romantic, natural style of performance to American stages. His later years were marked by heavy drinking and erratic behavior. Famously, he once fled a Hamlet performance mid-scene, scampering into the backdrops and crowing like a rooster.
Drink for the show, huh?
I would say. In 1852, while journeying by a steamboat from New Orleans to Cincinnati, he succumbed to a fever, probably from contaminated river water, and died near Louisville, Kentucky. And on November 30th, 1852, he was laid to rest at Greenmount Cemetery in Baltimore. Now, the story of his ghost at the Dock Street Theater in Charleston originated in the 19th century, the Planters Hotel where Booth once performed. It says that he wasn't really known to perform, but then it says he probably did perform in Charleston because otherwise he wouldn't have a connection there. Right. So I'm imagining that he did. There's just not a lot of documented evidence of it.
Or roles that he did. So,
right. Even though he died far from there, this venture is said to host his restless spirit, or this venue is said to host his restless spirit. And over the years, staff and patrons have reported hearing heavy boot steps echoing through the halls, often without seeing anyone, sometimes catching glimpses of a figure lingering behind the stage or drifting through the set as though still awaiting his cue. One local legend recounts that Booth, enraged for some unknown reason during a stay at the hotel, attacked the manager, perhaps explaining why his presence wouldn't rest there. Though paranormal lore favors Nettie, the lady in red, as the theater's most frequently spotted spirit, sightings of Booth's ghost remain among the lore's most enduring. Heard more often than seen, but no less chilling. Junius Brutus Booth, his life was marked by brilliance and instability. His death aboard a steamboat in 1852 stands in stark contrast to the poignant afterlife his legend enjoys at Charleston's historic theater. His ghosts, staccato footsteps, and occasional apparition add drama to a story already steeped in theatrical tragedy. And in addition to named spirits, the theater has its share of unexplained phenomenon. Ushers have seen figures sitting in the audience that vanish when approached. Lights flicker on and off at random, even when the circuits are properly functioning. Cold spots are commonly felt in specific areas, particularly in stairwells and the area near the former hotel lobby. Disembodied whispers and faint laughter have been captured by ghost hunters, and photographs frequently show strange orbs or misty forms. These experiences aren't confined to any one area of the building. Activity has been reported on stage, in the balconies, in dressing rooms, and even in the bathrooms. Paranormal investigators have spent long nights inside the Dock Theater using EMF detectors, infrared cameras, and audio recorders, many walking away with stories and evidence that defy explanation. Now, today, the Dock Street Theater remains a vibrant part of Charleston's cultural landscape. Though it underwent a significant renovation between 2007 and 2010, during which it was carefully modernized without compromising its historic integrity. The project reinforced the building structurally, updated its technical capabilities, and restored much of its 1930s charm. Now under the management of the city of Charleston, it's home to the local theater companies and a key venue for events like Spoleto Festival USA. Despite the upgrades, reports of hauntings have not ceased. In fact, some believe the renovation stirred up dormant energies.
Well, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. The theater continues to be featured on ghost tours. Curious visitors often gather outside at night, hoping for a glimpse of the woman in red, or the flicker of a spectral figure behind the stage curtains. The Dock Street Theater stands today not only as a monument to Charleston's artistic heritage, but also a living reminder of its haunted and theatrical past, where history and legend continue to share the spotlight. And that is the story of the Dock Street Theater.
That's awesome. Did we go in there?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, because I couldn't picture it while you were describing it.
Yeah. I like knowing that it has a lady in red and not just a lady in white.
Yeah, it's always the lady in white.
Well,
popular color back then, I guess.
I think it's because like that's just the way that the energy manifests. I think it's what that is. But I like the fact that she was so such a such a strong woman, independent, I guess, that in defiance she went out and bought this red dress to like stand out over everybody, to make herself more vibrant, and that's what she continues to wear today.
Yeah, it's sultry. It's taboo back then, probably,
Exactly,
because red's a very provocative color for a female back in the day. So yeah,
it's hard to say for sure if she actually was like a sex worker or woman of the night, but the fact that she wears red is pretty telling. I think that could be like where like some of the origins of like her belief of like she was a sex worker or she was this, because you associate red with like sex work and red light district and things like that. So I almost wondered if her story is convoluted because she's associated with that red dress.
and could be.
Yeah. And I think it's also pretty cool that John Wilkes Booth's father supposedly haunts there. It's pretty neat to have that like Abraham Lincoln connection.
Right.
It's like something like I guess like I didn't check that on my bingo box when I was like looking up the story. I didn't think I was gonna like find a connection to Abraham Lincoln in Chucktown. But what do you know? He shows up here and there.
That is crazy. I mean, just like a random person in time,
Yeah. I can't wait to do the old city jail, because I want to talk about when we went in there, walked around, and I have this picture still that we took when we were inside there. But I just wanted to share this story because, like I said at the beginning, I think it's like a very cool, like sort of like side note, kind of like maybe not as well known as some of the other places. So I like to kind of like share the stories that maybe not everybody knows about, and I think it helps like spread the lore of the local area.
So is there a reason why she's left still today, like walking around?
Well, she probably felt like, I guess she like stayed like there when it was the hotel or whatever, and I guess like she probably just feels like a connection to it, and so she just hangs around. I guess maybe that's where she spent like a lot of her time. Maybe she just lived in the hotel. Maybe she worked there. Maybe she was a sex worker. I don't know, but I guess she must have some sort of love with the area.
Was she a part of like the theater or anything?
Not that I could tell. I don't think she was around when the theater was there. She was there when the hotel was there. Anything else? You got anything else you'd like to say about Charleston before we get out of here?
I mean, Charleston's awesome.
Yeah.
The market, you can go and get like the old spices or cookbooks and actual baskets that the women have set there and woven or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a really cool place. And then 2 blocks over you've got Ulta, Victoria's Secret, Forever 21,
Yeah.
and all that. It's got a bit of everything, I guess.
It's definitely
what
a
I'm
melting.
trying to
It's
say.
definitely a melting pot of like different cultures and
Good
like
food.
good
I
food.
mean-
Charleston is a food hub, like in the South or even in the U.S. So just probably anywhere you go in Chucktown, you're gonna find some good food. I love Charleston. I love the city. I love going downtown. I love the city of Charleston. I love its history. It's a cool place.
You would definitely have to have a very, very well-paying job
Yeah.
to, you know, live deep closer to the city and, you know, partake in everything.
Oh yeah. You remember when we were walking downtown that time we saw Coolio?
Yes.
Me and Zach were like, we were walking, and this guy comes walking beside us, and he had like Coolio hair or whatever. And me and Zach kind of looked, was like, wait a minute, was that Coolio? And sure enough, it was Coolio hanging out in Charleston. He died, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think Coolio died, unfortunately, but yeah, we saw Coolio in Chucktown. You know, speaking of that cemetery we went to, we took photographs in the cemetery, and I have this one picture of us in there, and there was nobody in there but like me and Zach, because I think you guys had walked somewhere else or something like that, and maybe Jordan. But I took a picture of like some of the headstones, and it looks like there's two arms reaching out behind the headstones.
Wow.
You ever see those? Ever show you those?
I remember seeing the pictures, but I don't know that you pointed that out to me.
I'll look them up and I'll show them.
They
to
were
you.
also having an art crawl, or some type of little like art festival.
Yeah.
Downtown. So,
yeah.
I think that's kind of where we all got a little bit dispersed with all the different attractions going on.
But it's kind of not hard. It's hard not to, like, because Charleston's so rich. There's so much down there. Not rich in like wealth per se,
It's
but
that too.
well, that too. But I'm just being like, it's so rich in like everything that's down there. Like you just can't help but like, oh look at this. Oh look at this. Oh look at it. You're like the dog in Up. Squirrel.
And if you truly want to experience the full Charleston experience, you can't do it all in one day.
No, you really.
It's definitely a multiple day week vacation.
You got to give it at least a week at a time, and then you're still going to need to go back multiple times. Oh, they got that cool like that little remember that little garden, that little swamp garden that we went to? They had alligators and stuff in there.
Yep. Well, I think you and Zach did that.
We all went there, didn't we?
We've done so much shit. It's so hard,
I know.
especially following him in his military career from the Eastern Coast. I don't. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, love Charleston. All right, well, got any more thoughts on story?
It's a great story.
Thank you.
I know you're probably super excited about the jail because that's all you talked about when we were there. Worrying about what time it closed so he could get over there and check it out. He made it. We'll just leave it at that. He can tell you the rest.
Just know that I went there, and it will be featured in the future.
And it is the same place that Zach
Baggins.
Dakota Layton got to do the guest cameraman.
Yeah.
From the contest, and then ended up working for him.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was pretty cool too.
Lots of cool stuff. All right. Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you haven't already, go join our Facebook group. I know we have a page, but go join the group, and it's a way that we can protect you and make sure there's no bullshit getting posted or whatever. We can kind of monitor everything, so it works out for the best for everybody. And I think eventually down the road, if we grow enough, we'll probably add some more moderators. But for right now, it's just me and Wendy, so bear with us. And we're going to do the best we can. And come help us out. Come help us grow. Tell your friends. Tell them to tell their friends, and so forth and so forth. But still go join our Facebook page, Chronological Society Podcast. There's links to the group in there. We have a merch. There's links on all our social pages to get to our merch as well. And make sure and check out our podcast anywhere you find your favorite podcasting. There's a cool thing that I found called pod.link, and it's a way that you can look up any podcast you want to, and it tells you anywhere that it's any platform that you can find it. So look up our podcast and go to pod.link, type in the Chronological Society, and it pops up. It tells you every single podcasting platform that we're available on. It's a pretty cool link.
That sounds
But-
pretty cool.
And what I do is usually when people say where's your show, that's what I'll link so they could just find it from their favorite place. So, oh yeah, don't forget the Hauntological Society at gmail.com. Send us your stories. I got a couple of those coming up, so look out for those. And next week we got some more ghost stories. Be ready for that. That being said, I'm Eric.
I'm Wendy.
We're out.